as I'm getting older, you start thinking about the end of your life, your legacy, what are you doing with yourself? I was just like, this is not what I want to only be known for, just doing the weather. Like, that's great and all, but I have so many other gifts and talents that I've just put on the back burner for many years, like acting and cooking. Anything that I want to do now, I can do. I don't have to ask permission.
Welcome to The Rundown with Rene Knott. I'm Rene Knott, and this episode is the one that a lot of folks said, if you ever do a podcast, you've got to do one with Anthony Slaughter. So after talking to Anthony, talking to his agent, talking to all the people out there who could get me in touch with him, look who's in the house. The one, the only Anthony Slaughter. It's been a while.
It has been.
How you been?
Yeah, quite an intro. Wow.
Well, it's the truth.
I mean, no, your intro.
I made half of it up.
I mean, it's like The Rundown with Rene Knott. I'm Rene Knott.
Really? Well, just in case, I don't want people to think I was playing a character. I was actually playing myself in this role. How have you been, though? Seriously.
Man, I've been great.
Yeah.
After about 6 weeks of sleeping normal and eating regular, at regular times, my body just kind of fell right back into like just this normal pattern of life. I mean, I remember working that morning show and you're just so tired at 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. You can't keep your eyes open because you've been up since 2, 1 in the morning. And I have little kids that need help with homework,
right.
Science fair projects. Right. And, I'm like falling asleep on the couch, like, yeah, handle your project yourself. And now I'm able to be there. I can actually stay up at 9 and 10 o'clock and I'm not like a zombie, know? So just actually being able to live a normal life again. I mean, I remember talking to one of my family members and they were asking me about my life and, well, what about this? And what about this? And I was like, well, I don't do that anymore. I put that off. And he goes, well, you got a lot more time to do it now. And it was kind of like an aha moment, like, yeah, I do. Because I always was so tired from work.
Yeah.
And of course, taking care of kids, I didn't really think about like, was that normal? You just do that just because this is what you're expected to do. But then when I stopped having to work so much, I had so much more free space up here, more peace.
Yeah.
And then the sleep is just great. I would look at the clock now, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, like, oh, they're starting the show. This is so good. And I just go right back to bed for another 4 hours.
You can stay up later, too.
I can.
That's the
great.
thing. For me, that's been wild.
Everything. Anything that I've wanted to do, I've been doing it. I started playing golf.
Really?
Pickleball.
How dare you?
It's crazy.
Pickleball?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you're not that old. Pickleball is usually, it started out as an older person's
That's the funny
sport,
part about it. Yeah.
So, you go and beat all the old people now?
No, they just asked me to play, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it today.
That's
I mean, it's fun, but
yeah.
I've just been doing all the things that I've never been able to do, or in my mind maybe thought I couldn't do.
There's an awakening that you're having right now, but did you go through a period of mourning? Because so much of your life was in front of the camera, so much of your life was informing people.
It was. So for about 2 or 3 weeks, I journaled. Because you're feeling everything, and you're like, maybe if I put it down on paper, I can organize it and then reread it to myself, and then it will make sense. Because when you're feeling so many different things, I feel like sometimes it's so overwhelming, you don't really know where to start, with dissecting what you feel and why you feel it. Like I remember, like you said, your identity, it was so much of a part of me. And somebody told me like, oh, well, a part of you has almost essentially died. Like you've had to bury this part of you. And I hadn't thought of it like that. But when you have conversation with friends and family, they say things like this. You're like, I gotta write that down. I'm having more feelings. Because, it was a lot. Like I was happy to be done, but then I was like sad because I didn't have it. And then, like Halloween comes around. I'm like, I used to dress up on TV and have fun with my friends, and then you're like, not. And so there's a lot of things that I miss about it. But the thing that I have been realizing, which, when you're working in the news business, they're never going to tell you how good you are. They're never going to tell you how great, the coverage was or whatever. They may in a meeting real quick and be done. But they're never going to express to you what you could really do while you're there. They just want you to do the work that they want you to do. Yeah. And I remember talking to some of the bosses there, and I was like, this is what I want to do, and I have these dreams to do this and do that. And they didn't really like those ideas because it didn't have to do with that work.
Right.
And I could tell in some of the conversations, they were just kind of like, we don't want you, we need to fill your time with more work stuff. But now that I have time to actually think and be creative, it's amazing what you can do. I mean, there's a quote I remember hearing it say, you never know until you try, right? Okay. And that's true. But they never finished the quote. And the end of the quote is, when you try, you may actually surprise yourself. Because I'm surprising myself with everything that I'm doing, like learning how to shoot cameras, learning how to fly drones, learning how to edit. I worked in the news business for 20 years and I never knew how to shoot or edit.
Yeah.
They try to make you learn how to edit, but they don't give you the proper tools and training to actually succeed. It's like, we need you to do this, quick, go, do it. And it's trash because these people go to college to learn how to be a photographer, right? I mean, you spend years practicing that craft and then they just want you to quick, do, learn it. But I'm actually learning on my own pace, on my own time. ChatGPT is great. If you don't know something, just ChatGPT it. Because I'm learning business and marketing and all kind of stuff that I didn't know how to do. Gross income and profits and margins. I'm like, huh? Finances? What? All I do is weather. So it's nice to actually do other stuff than just tell people the weather. That to me is so fun because I'm able to express myself however I feel that day, right? And nobody's able to say, you can't do that, you can't say that, you can't post that. It's just a freedom.
Are you learning that there's more to Anthony Slaughter than there was to Anthony Slaughter prior to?
No, I knew this was all in here, bottled up. That's why I needed to get out.
Just let it out now.
Because I knew, maybe you feel this, but as I'm getting older, you start thinking about the end of your life, your legacy, what are you doing with yourself? And I was just like, this is not what I want to only be known for, just doing the weather. Like, that's great and all. But I have so many other gifts and talents that I've just put on the back burner for many years, like acting and cooking and making shirts. Anything that I want to do now, I can do. I don't have to ask permission, making people laugh. I'm going to be doing stand-up comedy soon. So
really?
Yeah. I'm just trying to get up the nerve to actually do it.
It's going to be a little Dave Chappelle?
Maybe a little bit of Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, Lavelle Crawford. I'm going back. Cheryl Underwood. I'm taking
Richard
Pryor?
Pryor?
I got to go touch. He has some good. All the old school people, they had a way of telling their jokes. They weren't just funny.
Red Fox?
I think that's what makes Dave Chappelle great. He can just talk and it's funny, right? And the storytelling. I remember when I got let go, and this kind of bugged me because one of the bosses who'd only been there for a short amount of time said I need to work on my storytelling. I'm like, you don't even know me. Like, you just started. Like, you need to work on being a boss. But to me, it was like, how are you going to critique something that you don't even know? Like, you just got here, you just started. And I know my storytelling is great. I mean, we've had some great times where we've told funny stories and have laughed our butts off for many hours, right?
Commercial breaks.
Yes.
Commercial breaks.
But to me, it was like, okay, all of that stuff, that you say negativity, right? Now I'm like, let's use that to drive me forward. Okay. You don't think I can tell some good stories? Let me tell some good stories real quick.
You can tell some stories.
And so I try to use that with my weather, with with the jokes, even with the food that I'm doing, because I'm realizing, like, after I made my shirt, my merchandise, right here, Sky Weather, that's what the WX stands for. People always ask, what is W? In the news business, we know WX is weather. But after I made the shirt, I realized, like, you can't just create something and expect people to come. Now I've got to be a salesman. Right. So I've got to get real creative with creating these videos or marketing tactics to get people to actually be interested, right? And ChatGPT has told me this. People don't buy merchandise. They buy the attitude behind the merchandise.
I can see that.
Think about Nike.
I can see that.
It's not just because it said just do it, but it's the attitude behind just doing it, right? And so that's what I'm tapping into, is learning how to not just create a brand, but the attitude behind the brand. And if you know me, you know my attitude. But I got to inject that into the shirts, into the hoodies, and the things that I create now.
Having said that, and your eyes are definitely going forward, do you ever look back? Do you ever look back at what was and think about it? Or do you go, that was yesterday, I'm all focused on tomorrow?
I look back on things like, if I were to go back into the business, this is what I would choose to be around. Like, these are the types of people I would choose to be. This is the type of environment I would choose to be around. This is the type of pay that I will not settle for, right? There are certain, you've done it just as long as I have, probably longer, about, a decade longer?
What?
News?
38 years.
So I was 20. And so, when you've done it for a while, like, how good you are. Like, you don't need anybody to tell you that. And I think moving forward, if I were to go back into that type of business or environment, then one, it would have to be national, because you know just as well as I do where local news is headed. And two, it would have to be at a place that's going to nurture who you are. Not say you can't do this because it's not a part of our brand, or you can't do this because it's your own thing. Like I look at the Today Show and Good Morning America, they all have books and podcasts, and you know the company invests in who they are because they believe in them. It's not just we believe in our brand, right? And I think that's what a lot of big companies are missing right now.
So here's what happens. What happens, and you can look back and look at promos and things like this. At one point, you promoted Anthony. Come to see Weather with Anthony. And then it became just come see Weather. And the faces, the names became secondary to here's the coverage, here's what we're going to have.
Absolutely.
That's what happened
You
there.
hit the nail on the head. Yeah.
Well, I've been around for a long time.
And I've talked to a few of the bosses at the time when those pictures got taken down and when our got painted over, and you know even when my face
Remember
got
the
taken
billboard?
off.
Remember the billboard?
Oh yeah. There are so many things.
We had some times. I wanted to ask this because as image changes as we get older and as you move forward, one thing I noticed about your image on social media is you're pretty good about taking your shirt off all the time now. Yeah. It was when the abs show up and all of a sudden now you can't.
Well, I couldn't
You're
before.
like Nature Boy.
They would always tell me to not post that stuff, and I'm like, well, what the heck?
But you should be. I mean, I would love to have a set of abs now. When you started to see
me too.
your body
It's just
change,
Thanksgiving, so I don't have them anymore. So I keep this shirt on. I got a thick sweatshirt
when
on
your body
today.
changed, was it where you're like, oh man?
So I had stopped drinking for like half a year, and I immediately lost weight. But I was working out like crazy, and so I would never. I used to have people always, take your shirt off, take your shirt, and I was just like, because I was just so self-conscious about it. And so when I started doing it, that's when I realized like I don't have that same fear. Like I've been telling people I've been doing a lot of things that I've never done before in life, like play golf and pickleball, right? Yeah. But it's because I'm conquering those things that used to make me fearful. I used to live off of fear. I was like, I don't want to post my hair. I'm not that good looking, and I don't have a great body. And then when I started working out and I started looking at myself, and you know, you hear the self-deprecation voices in your mind all the time. And a lot of those pictures are just inspired by like, just go to the mirror and take a picture and just, you know, look at yourself. Like how many times do we just look at ourselves in the mirror and examine who we are and ask ourselves, where do we want to be and who do you want to be? And some of those moments come right there in the bathroom mirror. Yeah. And a few of those shots have just come from that moment of like feeling real low to just, bam. I'm like, come on, man, you got this.
I think one of the hardest things for people to be is themselves. It's easy for you to pretend to be somebody else. Yep. It's easy for you to be the second coming of that person, or I'm going to be that person, but to this degree of it. It's hard to just be you, because once you are you, it's all vulnerable. Out there. Yeah. You can't go back anywhere. There's nothing to fall back on. You can't say, that wasn't really me. Now you're out there.
Well, I watch a lot of these great YouTubers, but people that I look up to on YouTube, and the common theme is being yourself. And they say people will say, oh, just be you, but they don't really know how to be them. Like if you say like, be yourself, people will kind of like freeze up. Yeah. And one of the guys used an example of one of his YouTube videos, and he had posted a Bible in the thumbnail, and he got a lot of slack from that. And people were saying, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't post a Bible. You're going to create division. You're going to find, nasty comments. And he heard what people had to say. But in that moment, he realized that he wasn't just on YouTube to get followers anymore. Him holding that book up was him showing that, hey, there's a community that I'm trying to build here. It's not what you may want, but it's my community. Right. And if you want to be a part of it, this is what I believe. And in that moment, I realized that's how you be yourself. Yeah. When you give 0 Fs about what people care about or think about you. And when you can live in that freedom and in those, moments of what you want to share about yourself or your faith, your life, whatever you're going through, I think people connect more with that than anything else.
That's hard to be, though.
It's
hard to be totally vulnerable.
But I think when you talk about influencers, YouTube influencers versus the news business, we have come from a very stoic, sit up straight, button your tie, everything's like, we speak proper, you can't say the wrong thing the wrong way, And I think the culture now sees past that. Yeah. Like they just want us to be ourselves. Yeah. Like how many times were you on the news and you read another black man got shot in America? But you had to read it and you had to keep going, right? But you have a feeling on the inside where you're like, fuck, this is not right. I'm sorry. I just said that word. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's YouTube. Yeah, you know?
But you know what I mean? And I think being off of that, platform, you're able to share how you actually feel in those moments when everybody knows you have a feeling about it, Well,
one of the hardest things for me has been the accusations that have been made about me, and I'm this way, or I said this and the other. I go, let me tell you something. One of the biggest.
I'll stop you right now.
Well, no, but one of the biggest problems in America, and especially in this city, is black people killing black people, guns taking our lives. So one of the things I hate most of all is that.
Yeah.
And so why would I want to be that person? And that's one of the things that really disturbed me, because everything you worked for, everything you built, everything you had trust-wise and all that, gone. Not by your hands, but by somebody else's.
Well, I think that perhaps may be an illusion that you may be dealing with right now. I don't think it's gone. I think reputation is
that's when I find it
more.
Out. Yeah, that's when I find it out.
Than what you did at a certain building at a certain time.
Right.
I will tell you this, and you said it on one of your interviews a few months ago, and I had felt the same thing, that you can be a perfect employee, do everything right, and still not be good enough. And when you said that, I was like, I know so many managers that have done nothing, right? And just coasted through. And you know them too.
They do the job.
And it's a difference when you are able to, I call this finding your freedom, because people in that platform, the news business, that news space, they can't be themselves 100%. They will be themselves maybe 67% until the boss says, don't do that anymore, right? Or you can't post that, you can't say that, you can't act like that. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's what the boss says. Who cares what the viewers have to say?
Writing the check.
And the boss, if they, what they want is what goes. And so I think accusations or not, I found that everything that came from me getting let go just boosted me to a whole new level. I thought I had 18,000 followers when I got let go. I've got 37,000 now. So it doubled just like that. Yeah. So it was like a PR stunt for me. It was like, hey, go follow Anthony, see what he's up to. And now when I post, it just keeps, I notice some days it's less. But again, going back to the YouTubers, I'm not tracking numbers now. I'm not tracking subscribers anymore. I was when I first started. Right. Like, let's get these numbers up. I got to see what I can do. But now it's about building that community. Right. It's about people are following me because they want to follow me. And that's why they're following me. They're not choosing to follow my merchandise because it's a cool shirt. They're buying the merchandise because it's me. Right. And I think as you enter this new space of whatever you may do, you'll find the same thing, that the people are married to you, not the station, not the platform.
Hopefully it's a happy marriage.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
Yeah,
but I tell you, everywhere I go now, I hear, nothing but positive things about what people have to say about me, what people have to say about you, since as of recently. But and I always tell people, because sometimes the attention may be overwhelming, that it's nice to be liked.
Yes, I think
that is a blessing.
There's a certain percentage.
Like you,
there's a certain percentage as to why we do what we did was because you like that feedback, you like being liked. There's no if and buts about that. And you think about
too what you did for many years. You were shining light on the St. Louis, not just sports, but communities, entrepreneurs, people making impact in St. Louis. And now that I'm in this new space, I'm finding, how do I rally small businesses around me, because I have a small business, and I'm like, well, how do I tap into that? And all you do is just support other small businesses, just like you did for all those many years. And I think people appreciate that.
I was going to bring that up. I was like, when I first saw that, I was like, whoa, wasn't that my idea?
Well, but that's what people respond to, right? How many small businesses do you know have somebody rallying for them? And I mean, St. Louis is such a small business town, right? And I thought, like, shoot, I had the idea one day. I wasn't like, I'm trying to be Rene on the block, Anthony on the block. But I just was like, how do I build this community? Because I'm stepping into this realm and I don't know anybody. Yeah. And so I started realizing, like, when you support other people, they're going to support you. Domino. And it's a thing of just giving back. Like, I have a vision board, and on my vision board, it says giving is good. Because people think we got to hold on to stuff. I have to have this opportunity. I have to MC, and I have to make this much money. But like, just giving freely of your time and your energy and your space, your thoughts.
What you give, comes
that
back
people
to you.
appreciate that.
It really is
it does.
true.
Karma.
I miss hanging out.
Well, hit me up for lunch sometime. My number is still the same.
I know it is, and I've got your number in my phone 3 different times. And the one that I always text is the one that says the real Anthony. Because there was another one that said Anthony Slaughter, and it went to some other guy, and the guy goes, "I am not Anthony Slaughter."
That was an old work phone. Yeah,
it's like,
I've heard
I'm
that
sorry
from a lot of people. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I just when it all happened, I didn't even have a chance to like change my number, and I mean, it was like boom, you're done. Like,
one of the hardest things right now, in reality, is to see people who are my age or around about retiring, and having their little parties and things like that, and I go, it's something that will never happen. After all those years of working, that's one thing that'll never, the send-off in an honorable way will never happen. And that's one of those things that's still hard to grip. But I also know, too, who my real friends are, true friends are, and the people who you can count on. And that's why you are here. Because from day one, you and I have, for whatever reason, hit it off as friends. We had our inside jokes that we would always do.
It was a little rocky. It was like Housewives of Atlanta.
How old are you?
We didn't really like each other at first.
How old are you?
I'm 41.
41. How old am I?
67.
61.
Okay.
I might act like I'm 61. How old is my son? My son is 35. My son is closer to your age than I am to your age, and that is why.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think when I found out that you were a real friend was when I asked you to do the men's health segment. And a lot of times people will ask you to do something like, can you be on this show? Can you be on this segment with me? And this is great. Yeah, help the person out. But you didn't ask to like take over that. You know what I mean? You were just like, yeah, I'll be a part of it. And just as well as I do, when you ask people sometimes in the business, hey, you want to do, they take the whole thing, transform it into their idea, and then they are in charge. And you're like, well, that was my idea. And so the fact that you were just like, yeah, I'll do it. I was like, oh, okay. Because, just as well as I do, that's not the case all the time. And you just sat there and whatever the topic was, you would chime in, you say, and then you'd leave. And I find it funny because I've been through the newsroom and I've seen interactions of how people can't get along when it comes to just being on the set together.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to take the back seat. Sometimes take the front seat.
I know. And for, the things that you're going through and talking about the accusations, I'm like, that's not the Rene that I knew. And that's never been the Rene that. I will say this though, some of the jokes that we say, and
I'm hot.
The locker room conversation, you know what I mean? I've had so many people come up to me and about the whole like kick your butt comment, and I'm like, how many times have you said to somebody you're gonna kick their butt? I was like, almost every day. Like I tell my kids I tell the dog I'm gonna kick their butt. And I thought about how we would joke all the time, and people would get in your scripts, right? And change your script after you change the script. And you're on TV reading, and you're like, God damn it, I changed the script. I'm gonna kick your ass. Right? And I was thinking, that's definitely Rene. But that's how we joke.
I don't remember actually saying that.
But that's how we joke,
but
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it bothered me because I know that someone probably heard a joke out of context and just thought like, I'm gonna take him down,
I don't know. Like I was asking you about things being in the past and things being in the present, and I'm more focused on the present and the future than I am about the past, although it trickles back in from time to time. We're talking about the first time we became like friends.
What, you got a story now?
When
too?
it comes to my story with Anthony Slaughter, it has everything to do with drinking, lunch, and having a few
See, this
whiskeys.
is why I stopped drinking.
I learned a lot that day. But that was by far, and these are things that probably could never be on this, good times I've ever had with a friend. It's just kicking back, let everything go, and just let it out. And it
Probably
was
shouldn't have let everything
It was
out.
great. Well, yeah,
You can
some
blackmail
of
me
you could have
now.
kept you. Too late now. I know.
You know my secrets.
All I know is this, we will always have, I'm hot. We'll always have that for the rest of our
There are
lives.
so many things. You got to get on TikTok. Are you on TikTok?
No,
You got to get on TikTok. There are so many things I'm going to send you.
61?
Come on, man.
Okay.
I mean, you could develop a whole niche around that. There's old grandmas on there that have their old page and stuff because they're funny. You could find your thing.
I'd be
shoes,
humorous.
fashion.
Okay. Fashion.
There's a niche. The thing that I've learned is you just got to. One of our old news directors used to say is fish where the fish are, right?
Okay.
But the reason that you fish where the fish are is because, right, they like something about that. So, like, tap into what you're good at, right? Low-hanging fruit, like fashion, drinking, wearing watches, talking to people. You know what I'm saying? Boom, there you go. You got 4 streams of income. I just solved your whole life problem.
Good night. I'm going to retire now. We're all done. Well, I just want to say this has been a pleasure to get back in your company and the chat and everything else. And I know that we'll have more times like this without cameras.
Hey, we could bring one of these cameras and set up at the bar and go have some drinks and
I don't know if they want to see that.
Or some burgers. You know, I'm down.
Another world altogether. I do think we could do burgers every once in a while.
Hey, we go out to bars and we have fans that show up. Remember, we had that one bar that there's these ladies that come every time we're there. And they're like, we didn't even know you were here. I'm like, we see you looking out the window.
We've had some good times. And they will continue.
Yes, they will.
Thank you, my man.
Yes, man.
Appreciate you. Oh, by the way, before we go.
Skyweather. You can go check it out. This is my merch. This is one of my shirts, Spread the Love, that I have created. It's one of my first designs. Actually, this was an accident how I made it, but Marla saw the shirt. And does she wear a medium?
Yeah, she will now.
But, and then...
You just did.
Is she extra large? She's a 2X right now.
She's got your number 2, so that's what you know that.
And then I know you like your shirts have.
There you go.
This is a shirt that my dad created, and it has words on it that says, dream it, write it, speak it, believe it, over and over and over in different spots. But this is like what I have considered to be the manifest mantra for life. Okay. And so it's yours to have. What we say is important. The thoughts we let occupy our brain are important, and we'll let come out is important. And so that's, my dad has always been, and his mom too, has always been a big proponent on like you're saying the right things. Say what you want. A lot of people say what they don't want.
Speaking into the universe.
I don't want this. I don't want that. But just a little something.
I don't want to be broke.
Remind you.
So I will say that. Yeah. Well, thank you. Man. I appreciate it. Thank you for the gifts and the love. And next time you're on, I'll bring you something.
All right, cool. Right on.
Anthony Slaughter, everybody, the legend himself.